Alright, 6.6 is an activity I call finding the alligator. It's really just graphing linear systems or linear systems of inequalities. Today is simple. There is no algebra involved in terms of solving a graph, and the only algebra you do is logical. Pretty much anytime you think your way through a problem, you're actually doing algebra because you're connecting point A to point B, thinking ahead, adjusting, all that good stuff. So again, you do have to do algebra, but it's not the type of algebra you're used to. You'll be given 2 lines in a picture to shade, but the trick is that you must choose the one good region out of the 4, and I do think it's better seen than heard. So this is what your questions look like, and I'm going to work them the same way that you should. So even though I could do it on the paper here, since you can't touch the computer, I'm going to show you what you should do. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you a picture. First off, if I were you, I would just copy the picture. The part you have to be careful on is the region. When you copy a line of this direction, you have to pay attention to where it is in terms of 0, 0. So don't copy this line here, because as you notice, this goes above 0, 0, and this goes below 0, 0, and that's really all you have to be careful of. You have the direction, just make sure you put it relative to 0, 0 where it's supposed to be. And that's really all that matters. The dashed line, yes, it goes in a downward direction, but the key idea is that it's above 0, 0. So again, doesn't have to be a perfect line. That's all that matters. Now, the reason I say finding the alligator is because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 regions. There is top, bottom, bottom. Ooh. I'm having issues at 6 in the morning. Bottom, left, and right. I think I did that right. If not, email me and let me know. But top, bottom, left, and right are your 4 sections. If you need to know how to spell one of them, write it down now, because you are going to have to actually, it'll be on the computer, but you are going to have to actually type out the word. That's the only answer you have to get on the computer. Now, if 0, 0 is true, what it's saying is that for the solid line, which is this one, that 0, 0 is true. And you don't want to shade the whole thing. You could shade the whole thing, and I'll just do it up here. You could shade the whole thing here and color that way. And then it says the dashed line is true. And so you could shade 0, 0 and do that. But now you notice you have a bunch of mess, and you have 3 sections being touched. Now some of you are good enough that you can do it with lines going this way and lines going that way and look for the intersection. But in my years of teaching it, especially with students who struggle with math, I found out that this is not the best way to do it, and that if you just follow one simple rule, instead of shading with lines, we're going to shade with ripples. Alright, so watch carefully. Here's what we do. Solid line is true. We know it goes to the bottom. I'm not going to shade the whole thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a kind of like a wavy water below that line. Again, true would be down, but instead of shading the whole thing, I'm just going to add wavy water or ripples to that bottom side. The dashed line is also true. So looking at the dashed line, if it's true for the dashed line, that would be bottom. And so I'm going to add a wavy line for this one. And what I found out when I did that was your wavy lines could represent teeth. If you look at your top alligator, and this is a mouth of an alligator, there are no teeth here, there are no teeth here. That can't be it. If you look at your alligator over here, there's teeth on the top, but there's no teeth on the bottom. That can't be it. If you look at this alligator, there are teeth at the top, no teeth at the bottom. That can't be it. This is the only V or alligator mouth that has 2 teeth, which means that's where you would go. And so all you would type for your answer is bottom. Alright? Again, don't get frustrated with this. If you try it out, mess up a little bit, and then figure it out, I guarantee you'll eventually get it. Because it's not that bad once you actually get into it. Once again, draw your line at least relative. This dashed line is going down, but it's above, so I'm going to draw a dashed line above 0, 0. This solid line goes up, but it's below 0, 0, so I'm going to draw a solid line that's below 0, 0. Even though it's not perfect, it just needs to be relative to that 0, 0 spot. So solid line is true. If the solid line, again, look at your solid line, is true, that means that we go towards 0, 0, because again, that would be true. And so we are going to go and put wavy lines or teeth above that line. if the dashed line is false, again, go to the dashed line, make it relative. If that is false, that means you don't want to go this way, because remember, you don't want to go towards a false statement, which means that true is on the top side. And at that point, you should be able to pick what it is. I'm not going to have you answer on the computer yet, but take a moment, pause the video if you want to, and see if you can figure it out. I'm going to give the answer in 5 seconds. And that's 5. Anyway, the one you're looking for is the one with teeth on both. That is no teeth, can't be it. That is blank, can't be it. That is blank, can't be it. It should be the top section. Alright, so I am going to shade C and D and E, and then I'm going to pause the video and have you answer it so that you can get some feedback, or at least get some practice on it. But I am going to do the shading for you. After that, whenever you get to the computer, you have to do the shading for yourself. But other than that, this dashed line is going down, and it's below 0, 0. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure it's relative to 0, 0. This is going up below 0, 0. As long as the relation to 0, 0 is good, we're okay. The solid line this time is false, so find the solid line, look at 0, 0, but that's false, which means we don't go towards false, we go towards true, which means that we would be on the bottom. The dashed line is true, so find your dashed line, look at 0, 0, 0, 0 here is true, and we do want to go that way, so we leave a wavy line on top of the dashed line. Now I want you to go ahead, and I'm going to pause the video and you figure out which one it is. If you chose the top, that would be wrong, because if you look at that, there are teeth there, but that is blank, so it would not be the top. If you chose the left, there are no teeth at all on the left. There's nothing down here, there's nothing up there, that can't be it. If you chose the bottom, there are teeth on this side, but it's blank on that side. Your answer should have been the right. Alright. I chose D for a reason, because it has the same two options, solid line false, dashed line true, but I want you to understand that it doesn't always go to the same spot whenever the relationship of lines changes. So this time your dashed line is above 0, 0, and your solid line is below. It says, again, we'll shade this now, solid line is false. So for 0, 0, solid line is false. So looking at 0, 0, that is false, which means it's bad. So we want to go away from that. Dashed line is true. If this is my dashed line, it is true. I do want to go towards that. And again, I'm going to pause the video. Take a moment, look at this picture, and see if you can locate where the alligator is. Remember, you're looking for 2 sets of teeth. If you chose top, that can't be it, because there's no teeth on this side of it, there's no teeth on that side of it. Nope. If you chose left, those teeth would hurt. This is nothing but gums. If you chose right, those teeth would hurt, but that side is nothing but gums. This is where you get hit by 2 sets of teeth. You should have chose bottom. Alright. And then the last one. Again, what I want you to do on your paper, because you have to, is draw a relationship. This is going down below. So just make your best dashed line going down below. Use a ruler if you have to. This is going up, and again it's below 0, 0, so it's here. Solid line here is true, and so if that's your 0, 0, your solid line here is true, which means that I like this direction for the solid line. Your dashed line is false, which means for your dashed line, if that is false, you want to go away from it, because remember, you want to stay away from those things. Again, I'm going to pause the video, but before I do, I want to tell you that if you are asking a question on what you do, make sure you copy a picture of the graph and a picture of what you have on your paper, because again, a lot of you are either going to you're gonna draw the picture wrong, or you're gonna just shade wrong. And if I can give you a real quick answer on that, if you just go ahead and send me this picture and this picture with the solid line, true, false, and then your paper, whatever you copied onto your paper, because that'll help me to see what you did right or wrong. Other than that, I'm pausing the video now. Go ahead and answer that question. If you chose the top, standing here, if I go this way, I bump into teeth, that hurts. If I go that way, I do not bump into teeth, I'm safe. If you chose right, if I go up, I don't bump into teeth, I do not even need to check another one, because once I don't bump into teeth, I know I'm safe. If I go here, going this way, I bump into teeth, going that way, I do not, can't be that one. Teeth, teeth, it's going to be left. Alright, so go ahead and answer those questions on your Math Excel, and I will talk to you tomorrow.